Coming up, more of your emails and a luxury headset to tell you about.
You're listening to Double Time, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Priest.
Hello, Shaun Priest.
Hello, Stephen Scott. Luxury, you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is luxury we're talking about today. This is one of those things, it's a bit like when you wander into a store, as I once did at an airport, and ask the man behind the counter, oh, that's a lovely necklace. I might buy one of those for my wife. How much is it? And he said, if you have to ask the price in here, you probably don't want to be buying. And I said, what store is it? He said, Tiffany. And I said, right. Is that the one that was in the movie? Because I'm thinking that's going to not work for me. Sorry, Mrs. Scott, but the budget doesn't go that far here at Double Tap.
I'm guessing there wasn't a Pretty Woman moment where he walked back in and said, I'll have everything in the store.
Everything on credit.
Yeah. 5 easy payments, please.
Could we make it 125 easy payments? Even that would probably be too much. Never do that. Yeah, we're going to talk today about a company called Breggz. Now, you might have heard of them, might not have. I certainly hadn't when I first learned about them at CES last year. And we featured them over on our TV show at the time, Access Tech Live. We talked to them on the show, and we learned about Breggz. Now, they were kind of pitched as an in-ear computer, which I didn't really understand. And they've since changed that branding, not because of me, although it might have something to do with it, because I kept saying, I don't know what this means. But basically, it's essentially a in-ear earbud that you wear, but these are designed for professionals who are working in audio, so you get really high-quality audio out of these things. And they've just brought out a new version. Previously, they were wired, but the new version is and has just appeared on Kickstarter, and it's a wireless version called the Zohn-1 One, and it sounds very interesting. Now, I have been fortunate enough to be sent a pair of these. I would not be buying them because I couldn't have possibly afford these, but I have been sent a pair of these. There's no point sending them to you. You think that the original Amazon Echo, which, by the way, sounded like a wasp in a jar,
sounds great,
was good audio. You think MP3 audio is okay?
Sounds great.
I'm not sending any. I'm not getting anybody to send you
we should have
high-end audio. No way. So I'm actually going to do something I don't normally do on the show, and that is I'm going to record my reaction putting them on, because I'm very intrigued by these. These are very expensive. I mean, I'm going to put it out there. On the Kickstarter right now, you're paying around $3,500 or just under $3,500 Canadian dollars. That's about £1,700 to £1,800 for a pair of these. Now, it's on a Kickstarter. You might think, well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? A Kickstarter, and we all know, of course, Kickstarter can often mean kicked well down the line, and you never see the product. As I still sit here waiting for the bee, my AI watch or AI whatever it was pendant that I was waiting for. Still not right. But this is a company known for producing and coming up with the goods. So, there's really no doubt here as to whether or not it's coming. It will be coming from September. In fact, these will be announced or launched, I should say, if you're...
September?
Yeah, from September, yeah. So I have got them ahead of time. And like I say, I'm going to do a live unboxing here on the show, and then I'm going to put them in and try them with you. And, I won't try them with you. I mean, you're going to ask me questions. I won't be able to hear you because I'll be too busy boogieing on down with the hits of the day.
Boogie on down with the hits of the day. Yep, down with the youth.
As long as those hits of the day are from the 70s or 80s, 90s, 70s.
Now, these are strictly for the audiophile out here. Or the professional, right? Obviously, the price point shows that. I'm really interested because I'm still not convinced that, these premium audiophile grade headphones and things like that, do they sound that much different from... Let's say AirPods, which I still think, for me, that's premium. That's expensive, AirPods. So let's say AirPods Pro. So I am interested in your reaction. I'm expecting your head to explode or something.
The only premium I would say I've ever tried, I agree with you. I think the AirPods 2 from Apple are the best I've ever tried in terms of earbuds. That's what they're up against for me. And I know the price difference wouldn't be a fair comparison because you're talking a couple of $100 versus thousands of dollars. But I guess that is a fairer comparison when you think about it, because actually, that's the one that most people might be able to afford. So, if you were going to take the leap and buy something like this, you would want to know that the experience is going to be hugely different. You'd want it to be 3 times the difference in quality, right? So, or 30, I'm terrible at maths. Whatever that divided by that is. So look, I think this is quite interesting to try out. As I say, it's not for everybody, but we get the chance here at Double Tap to play with these. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to play along here and see what they're like.
Oh, well done.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I think they want them back.
You're a hero.
I don't think I'm getting to keep them. I think they want them back.
I would expect so, yes. But I mean, how often does someone get the chance to get their ears on something like this?
I wouldn't buy them. I couldn't afford to buy these. I really couldn't. So, this is something that's cool and, it's interesting to try.
You say you'll never buy them, but I've got a terrible feeling if you do try these and they blow your ears off, you're going to be buying these.
No.
Can you ever go back?
No, Shaun. You see, you don't understand the rule of reviews, which is, yes, absolutely, I will send you that back. What? It got lost in the post? Oh, what a nightmare.
That never happens. Can I just say to anyone, any companies listening, that will never, ever happen if you send it to me.
No, you with Shaun, it'll never arrive. That's the problem. So you'll absolutely get it back because the post office will send you it back on Shaun's behalf.
Very interesting.
It is interesting. Okay, so today on the show, we're going to hear from the founder of Breggz, and he has been talking to our very own Marc Aflalo. So Marc Aflalo is here a bit later to conduct that interview because Marc's an audio professional, and he's been someone who has been into this kind of world. He's used Breggz in the past as well, so I thought it'd be quite interesting to have him do the interview on this. And I will be welcoming the guys from Breggz on the show very soon, along with Marc, and we'll have a bit of a chat about these things and just,
very nice.
Give our review. So, yeah, interesting. But no, like you say, stick with the AirPods Pro, because honestly, they are fabulous. What was the ones I gave you, the ones that the dog had eaten? That was the AirPods Pro 2, wasn't it?
I believe they're 2, although they don't say 2 in the Bluetooth settings. Yes, and the one on the right, Stephen Scott, I have a complaint. The one on the right, the noise cancellation doesn't work. I don't know if there's a bit of dog detritus stuck in it or what, but can I get a refund?
No. That's a short answer to that. You got them for nothing. Complaining. You got them for nothing.
Noise cancellation doesn't work. I can still hear things out my right ear. It might well
reset them. You've probably got the wrong ear tip. I'll tell you what it is. I have 2 weird ears.
Yes, you do.
One ear is slightly bigger than the other. At least the inside holy bit where the sound goes in. That's a technical term. You see why Marc did the interview with Breggz, right?
The inside holy bit in the side of my head. The holy
bit on the side of my head where the sound goes in. One of those is bigger than the other.
I only apologise, Breggz. I am so sorry.
You sent these to me. I mean, really, what are these people thinking, honestly?
Oh, dear.
Anyway, shall we get some emails in before that?
Please.
Okay.
Email. We get email. We get your email every day.
Every day.
Here's your mail today.
Email. Yes.
The reason I'm no longer singing along with that is because it can't get it in sync for some reason. So if people are saying, I miss Shaun singing along with the jingle, that's why.
Okay.
I'm just explaining because I know my fans out there will be saying that.
Shaun's fan club. Hang on. Let's listen to the crowd outside. Oh, there they are. Yeah, that's them.
Hello.
You do have a lot of fans because whenever I say anything to you that might be deemed a little bit, rude, I get the amount of earache I get.
Mm-hmm.
That holy thing on the side of my head gets sore.
Not to bring any past bad tidings, but
not the door thing again.
My finger is still numb. And apparently,
did you go to a doctor?
No, apparently my fingernail's black, so I'm assuming it'll just drop off or something.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just saying. Anyway,
can I just say, by the way, you are lucky that I am here today.
Oh, okay.
I am not a medical man, as you may have guessed.
Yes.
Certainly not in the ear or face or body areas. But I will say that my Apple Watch has been repeatedly telling me that my heart rate is continually falling below 40 beats per minute.
Now, you do know that could be because you're supremely fit and basically an athlete level.
Adonis of a man.
Yeah, exactly right. Or it could be time to,
or at
medical
any
advice.
given minute, my heart will just stop and I will die.
That's not good, Steve.
It's not. Well, look, I'll be honest. It's not ideal, and it would be kind of. I mean, in a way, you know, they would always say if it happened on the show, well, he died like he lived in front of a microphone, talking rubbish. That's basically what they'll write on the gravestone if anyone bothers to, you know, put one up.
My resting heart rate is around 100, and yours is around 30.
Okay, can we get a balance here? Because I think you need to come down a bit, and I need to go up a bit. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but I check it every day, and of course, and it's interesting because, well, I won't say what I've got yet because, you know, I don't want to. No. I don't want to do it just now.
What did you buy?
Do it. No, I don't want to do that just now.
It's a defibrillator.
Might need one of those. Yeah, I will say. So the Apple Watch is pretty cool, right? Because it's obviously alerting you when it notices this, and I've been checking the resting heart rate for a while, and yeah, it's always kind of hovering around the 40s, which is kind of weird. I don't get it.
Yeah,
but I did check it on a different device, and that may be something else I bought, which was a new Samsung smartwatch. So,
oh my days!
I have been getting into the Samsung S25.
Yes, we know you love
a little
Android,
bit too much, and it was Carrie Morales' fault. It's all her fault because
someone else's
she was talking about this Samsung watch, and she said it was good, and the talkback was better, and I said I've got to try this for myself, so I got it, and you know what?
Initial impressions are
not bad.
Not bad. Okay,
not great. Not great, but certainly better than the Pixel. I'll give it that.
We'll get Carrie on, and you two can fight it out. That'll be nice.
Well, I do want some tips and hints on it because I think, you know, first off, there's no way to change the voice. You can't change the speed of the voice.
Oh, user
all you can
error.
do is there's nothing in. There's no settings at all to change it. Unless there's some other way to get a voice on, and I'm sure I can hear certain people tapping away on their keyboard saying, I know how to do it. Please do. But if it involves connecting it to a computer, and, you know, installing some package like I'm hacking into the Pentagon, then I'll probably not do it.
Leave that alone. We'll come back to that.
Can I send some on my watch and they can put eloquence on it? That would be nice.
Well, you had to go eloquence.
It's eloquence. Always eloquence with me.
Let me add this as well. Please don't email in about, you know, concerns about Stephen or my heart rate. We will get medical advice. Let me just say that.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely going to get medical advice because that doesn't seem right to me.
No, it definitely doesn't. And let's see how good the Apple Watch was. Let's see what your doctor says.
That's right. Yeah, it could have saved my life. I could be one of those people who write to Tim Cook and get an email back.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. Get him on the show.
That'd be worth it, wouldn't it? That'd be worth having a low heart rate for.
Right, quickly move on.
Christy's here with an email. Let's go to Christy first.
I'm so happy to hear somebody else say how difficult it is to simply turn off the iPhone. As a result, I wait until I'm absolutely forced to do so. They added these extra buttons to the sides of the phone, action, camera. Wouldn't it be great if one of those was a power button? There must be a way to make that happen. Could a shortcut help with this? One day I need to learn more about shortcuts. Is it possible to bring somebody on air to talk about that? Thank you for everything you do and constantly allowing me not to feel so isolated. Christy in Kamloops.
Thank you, Christy in Kamloops. Lovely to hear from you. Love old Kamloops over there.
I love them. My favourite breakfast cereal.
That sounds like a breakfast cereal, doesn't it? Right next to Canmore, which was a street which I actually grew up in. So the first time when I heard about Canmore, which is next to Kamloops, I was quite excited because I thought, I'm home.
It's beautiful. What a beautiful story.
Although that entire street was bulldozed, just to say. I think it was after I left.
If we quickly say that the side button is your power button. Hold down your side button and the volume down button at the same time for a few seconds. It will vibrate. And then at the top of the screen, you'll find a double tap to power off.
Okay. Now, you said that Gary had been in touch with a response to this. Is that right?
Well, a beautifully timed answer.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
Hi, guys. Hope you're both well. Just wanted to weigh in on Stephen complaining that you cannot turn off your iPhone easily. Mm-hmm. Well, you can using the Shortcuts app. I cannot take credit for this as I found this out on one of the socials, but here's how it's done. Go into Shortcuts, double tap the plus button. In the search bar, type shutdown. In the drop-down box above the created shortcut, bring up the menu and double tap rename and rename to shutdown. Then go into the same menu and double tap add to home screen. Double tap done, and you have a shutdown app on your home screen. You can even do this again if you want a restart app. Hope this is useful to you. All the best, Gary from East Sussex.
Well, thank you, Gary. That is very useful. I've got to say, I need to get my head around these shortcuts. I still to this day don't fully understand. I go into the app, I play around, I kind of get a sense of what I'm meant to do. Unless it's really basic, I just can't figure it out.
There's some really useful features in there, like Gary just showed us, but I've got to say the accessibility is inconsistent. If you want to get a little bit deeper, then it does become an issue using VoiceOver with it. I'm hoping that's going to improve. I keep saying that and it hasn't, but it's still an option. It's definitely something you should have a look in and see what you can do with it.
Yeah, well, I know that there's a number of people on Mastodon who do use shortcuts a lot, and I think we'll reach out to a couple of people and see if we can maybe get them on to talk about it and maybe talk us through even just setting one up. Yeah. Because I think it's like, I've said to you before about various things, once you kind of get the idea of how it works, then it's like, okay, I get it. I just don't feel I've got that yet. I kind of don't understand how this thing plays. I've got a sense in it of idea of it, but it never seems to work the way I think it's going to work. So we absolutely should do that. Now, a couple other people have been in touch on this very point.
Good morning, Stephen and Shaun. It's very early morning here, but I've been catching up with your shenanigans at CSUN, and it was great. Really, really interesting stuff, and I'm looking forward to hearing more over the coming weeks. The thing that struck me was you were speaking about powering off your iPhone and how difficult it is. Honestly, it's easy. So you hold down the power button so you don't have to use the wake word, and you simply say power off. You'll be asked, do you really want me to power off this device? You say yes. Job done. It's that easy. Honest.
Hi, this is Graham Langford in Toronto. Recently you had somebody say that through Siri you could shut down your phone, but you can also say restart this device and it will shut down and then restart back up again. At least it does on my iPhone SE3.
Don't you just love our community? I just love the double tappers who get in touch with the answers. I just love you guys. Thank you so much for that.
It was fantastic. Again, look, if you don't want to do the shortcuts, there's no need. You can just ask it. I've tried them, and restart works, as Graham said, and Kez from talking about the powering off, yes. And other people, of course, got in touch to tell us that as well. Thank you so much. You can also just say, to Siri, lock the screen, and it will lock the screen as well. So I don't know why you'd need that, to be honest, but there you go.
Might be handy across the room, though, right? I mean, if you were...
That's very true. Oh, I've been using that voice control. I am in love. Oh, yeah. It's so good.
So you're using voice control, which is obviously different to VoiceOver, right? I mean, it's an additional accessibility feature.
Yeah. Voice control is for people that can or have difficulty using the screen. It's not...
physically touching it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you control it with your voice. Now, it's been there for the longest time. We've talked about it before. But I've recently been using it again for when my phone is charging and I'm in bed or in the bath or whatever. It's just in 18.4, which is what I'm running at the minute, it just seems to be working really well. Now, for VoiceOver use, there are a couple of issues. You need to say something like, VoiceOver, select next item to swipe to the next item, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you're trying to swipe through 10 items on the screen, that soon becomes really boring. I'm pretty sure you can record a new command for that. So I could just say next or back and get it to do the same thing, but I haven't done that yet. But just simply being able to say, tap skip ad in YouTube or press skip ad as soon as the ad starts up in a video I'm watching. It's so nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Really cool. How much work is involved in setting all that stuff up? I mean, do you have to give it those commands, or are you just literally going off what you know those buttons or links are called?
Yeah, well, exactly. As I'm swiping through, I know that skip ad button will after 5 seconds on most ads will pop up. So you do need to know what those buttons are called. Like on Facebook, I can say open Facebook. And then when it opens up, I just say press notifications and it'll go straight to notifications. VoiceOver select first item and it'll go straight to the top of the screen. So, look, it's, as I mentioned, it's not directly for us, for blind or visually impaired, but just for that, hands-off use, I think it's working really well at the minute.
You don't have any issues, it doesn't get in the way of VoiceOver? VoiceOver doesn't interrupt
The only thing I keep forgetting is if you go into a text field, it will type whatever VoiceOver says. So as I'm typing something, it repeats it because, VoiceOver will announce the letter I'm on, and then voice control will type it in. So before I do that, I need to say stop listening, and then it won't enter any text. So, and it looks so easy to set up. Basically, all you do is turn it on. There is a list of commands there. So when you go into the accessibility settings and voice control, after you turn it on, or before, there is a option called commands, and it will give you a list of all the commands, what you can say, and you can even turn off. So you say, I don't want to use that voice command, so don't even listen out for it, and you can turn it off. So,
good.
So you can look through and see exactly what you can say. There is an accessibility section, command section there. That's where I saw the VoiceOver options. So, it's cool.
I love that I know they should, but I kind of also love that they just do think about how these different features can interact together. Like I remember back in the days when VoiceOver and Zoom just didn't work together at all. You couldn't use gestures were the same on both, so you would have one which was zoom out, and then you would end up accidentally zooming into the screen when you were trying to mute speech and all that kind of stuff. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But they fixed all that now, which is just wonderful.
Have
how
they
work together?
Have they? Yeah,
no, they have.
They
fixed that years ago. That was years ago.
You Zoom in the longest time,
so maybe I'll be broken again.
you had to add an extra tap, right? A 3-finger, whatever it was.
That was a long time ago,
tap.
though.
Oh, we'll have to look into that again. Okay, very good.
I never use. I know it's funny. I don't think I ever used Zoom on the phone. Did I?
No, the screen was too small for me. The amount of zoom that I had to have, it was just unworkable, really. But I mean, if you got low vision and you get stuck on something, even if you're using VoiceOver, the ability to be able to zoom in to find that inaccessible pay now or checkout button, it's invaluable. Right?
Well, I know that's why a lot of people who are low vision will love an iPad, because you've got so much.
Absolutely.
Big screen, you can zoom right into it. It's just perfect for that. But it's funny because it kind of makes me wonder why I ever ended up an iPhone fan as much as I did, because I actually used Android more back in the day when I was low vision, because I could bring the text size up across all the different apps. In fact, there was a feature, I think it's gone away now, but there was a feature a long time ago where you were able to go into a website, and it was Google that had kind of pioneered this, where you could zoom into a website, but as you zoomed in on the text, it would word wrap itself into the space, so it wouldn't, you wouldn't have to then scroll across the page to read the text. It would just bring all the text into line with however you were zooming.
Android always handled that larger text
much better.
Much better than iOS did. Again, I haven't used any of these low vision features in years, so I don't know if it's improved on the iPhone or not. But it gets to a certain level where you just go, this just isn't working, and the screen reader is a better option. Yeah.
Well, I think that's why, even Carrie, when she's been on with us, she said this, I think low vision people go down the Android route because you probably get more low vision options. And for totally blind people, or people whose vision is just not going to be, you're just not at the point where you can really read anymore, VoiceOver's better. That was her view, and I don't disagree with that, actually. I think, playing with TalkBack and playing with VoiceOver, you can see the differences between the two. I think almost the more I'm getting into the whole TalkBack thing and actually like using it every single day, I'm kind of really finding the bits that are missing. And the thing is, if you only use Android, you'll not notice what's missing, right? You don't know what's missing, so you don't really care about what, if I come along and say, hey, there's not an option for this, you're like, yeah, well, there never has been.
Where's split tap? That's all you're missing, Stephen.
That's the thing I love. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because it's actually on the keyboard. So you can do split tap in the keyboard, which is great because it's actually made using the keyboard a million times easier.
Yes.
But why can't they just roll that out across the entire system?
Not allowed.
Understand.
Stop it.
Don't get
it. You're not allowed. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Okay, let's move on. Katie has been in touch.
Hello to you both. This is Katie Fan, the biggest fan of Double Tap.
Oh, hi, Katie.
It was so lovely to meet you and Shaun, and yes, even Marc. He seems really nice. I didn't get a chance to talk to him very much because you were recording an interview with the Dream Vision group with that amazing Braille display keyboard called the Activator that we spoke about.
Yes.
Please take care and safe travels to you all. It was amazing to meet you. Just got home myself, but I live in the Bay Area, about 30 minutes from San Francisco, California. I'll be writing more content soon to contribute to the show. Hope you guys are ready. Best, Katie.
We're ready. We're ready. I should say that email obviously has not just come in. No. I mean, it may only take 30 minutes to get home, but it appears to have taken Katie 2 months to get back to her home.
I know, but I didn't. You know what? I just wanted to play that in. I know we're late to the game here, but yeah, it was lovely to meet you as well, Katie.
Yeah, wonderful to meet
you.
you.
And everyone else we met there as well, we should say. We met a lot of people.
It was
great.
Such a brilliant event. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad you're all home safe. And yes, looking forward to hearing more from you, Katie. So come on, get writing. Mary's been in touch.
Hi, Double Tappers. This is Mary from Newfoundland, Canada. Love your show. Not only is it informative, but very entertaining. I was diagnosed with RP at the age of 10. I'm now almost 60 years old, and I started listening to your show about a year ago. Since then, I have learned to use a white cane and also learning Braille. Listening to your show gave me the push to do so. Thank you for what you do. All the best for 2025, Mary.
Wow. Thank you, Mary.
I know. That was, that was quite the email, right?
I mean, yeah, okay. I honestly have no idea what we did, but I'm so glad we were here to do it for you. Because, look, I know I get a lot of emails from people saying, that these honest conversations we have kind of help people come out of themselves a little bit. And I've heard this a few times, and it's quite, it moves me a little bit when I hear that, because obviously, we're just idiots, basically, sitting here doing this thing.
We are.
But,
yes. But we share our experiences,
yeah,
which aren't that different from most people out there in this situation. So, yeah, thank you, Mary.
Thank you, mate. Do you know, it's funny because the amount of people who I'm hearing, I actually feel like I'm regressing these days. I don't know about you, but I feel I'm the opposite. I do. I feel like I'm regressing, but well, my heart rate certainly is. But, I feel like I'm regressing. Because it's like, so we got Brian Clark, who'd been in touch with us. He's done this whole thing. We're going to get him on to talk about it. He's made this whole radio drama using Reaper. He's gone off and learned Reaper and is now making radio dramas. We can't even do a basic one-track edit on this damn thing. And he's making radio dramas. I mean, we've got to get our game upped here.
Oh, no.
Our listeners are going to be leaving us behind at this rate.
They always do.
Look, if you want to get in touch with the show, please do. Here's how.
Get in touch with Double Tap. Email feedback at doubletaponair.com. Leave us a voicemail at 1-877-803-4567. And now you can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp. That number is 1-613-481-0144.
Yep, get in touch on WhatsApp. We've, of course, got that phone number you can dial as well from any landline. And that number is toll-free, so you can call for free wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for all your contributions. We'll get to more of those on tomorrow's show. But right now, though, Marc Aflalo is here as he chats with the founder of Breggz, all about their new Zohn-1 earbuds.
Hi, my name is Sander Visionnier, and I'm the founder of Breggz.
Sander, the last time we spoke was at CES a couple years ago, actually. We weren't there last year. And I was super excited to chat with you because you created a product called the Zohn-1, which are one of the first, probably the first completely wireless custom in-ear, I guess you can call them monitor or headphone, but really they're hearing computers, right? How do you describe them to people?
Yeah, now we describe it as the world's first custom-made in-ear hearables. Eventually it's a computer. It can do a lot more, but we left the computer out because we want to focus more on the sound. And that's it's a passion of mine. Sound. I'm a professional artist. For 30 years now, and still doing 100 shows a year. So I know how important it is to properly hear yourself right on stage. But I was always wondering, why do artists all over the world have access to this crazy good sound? And isn't this not available for the consumer market? And why for example, if I go in a studio, why do I spend thousands of dollars a hotshot producer with a great studio to make the sound of a new single sound perfectly right, pitch perfect, but it never reaches the audience like that because everybody's going to listen to it on his iPhone maybe or to crappy devices. So that's where really the mission and the passion comes from. And you want the audience, I don't like the word, but you want the people to listen to the songs of the artist the way they've meant it. So that was the beginning point of the company.
You guys have a Kickstarter campaign going on right now. It's already surpassed its goal. It's still on for the next 24 days, roughly, whenever people are paying attention to this interview. So many testimonials from people there who have tried it out. And I know you and I were talking before we started this interview about, worried that people might think that those people are paid for their reaction. But, I've seen some of this reaction in person, and I can attest that this is genuine reaction of people using Zohn-1 for the first time. And the interesting thing that caught my attention was people saying, I can't believe I'm now hearing something completely different than I'm used to hearing. Is that just because of the high fidelity and the high quality of the device itself?
It's like everything in the whole product. So we only use the best available pieces, because there are 150 pieces of technical parts in the device and both ears. And we use the best speakers available, the best microphones. We place them handmade in the ear canal from inside of the shell, the custom-made shell. And then we seal it off, handmade, because you really need a good sealing. And once we have a BA driver, like a balanced armature driving, got a little hole in the back, so it breathes more. So you really have this very good, I always explain it as acoustic sound or something. It's like very real. You're in the music, and we're also the only hearable who are using these kind of drivers, because it's really difficult. Because it's handmade, a lot of mass production companies don't want to use it. They just want to produce and sell. But then, at all costs, especially of the quality.
As a user of custom in-ear monitors, I'm wearing them now. I've got all shapes and sizes. I can attest to the benefits of having something that is shaped to your personal ear. It creates a natural seal. It brings the sound closer to the eardrum, which means you don't have to listen to it as loud as you might have to on a just commercial pair of headphones. And, up until now, even these wired in-ear monitors, they have not been wireless, okay, have been thousands of dollars. Yes, you can probably get a pair for maybe about $1,000, but if you want to get the proper acoustic sound and quality, you're paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for these, and they're wired. There are no computers here. It's just literally just the audio. So how do you balance the two, bringing that wireless experience? Because that's all I've wanted. I've wanted to be able to have something like this that I can not have to worry about a cable, not have to worry about adapters. Number one, the idea is amazing, and I'm so excited that you're bringing it to the market. But how hard was it to balance the engineering side with the traditional form factor that you're trying to go with here?
There are a few things. So I'm very happy that you are saying that there are very expensive wired hearables existing, because I think a lot of people don't even know. So it's first of all hard to explain the price point, but once I tell people the whole story, they start to understand it, because it's very expensive to build one. It goes much over the cost price of the real price of for example, an Apple AirPod. So, but to balance this out, it's such a difficult road, because when I started this, I'm not a tech guy. So we have like a whole tech department in the company with very experienced people. But so you act with the wisdom on the day, and in the beginning that wasn't just that wise with me. So we have to ask people. It's a process to reach this. I don't know if we will ever reach. I don't think like the 100% perfect product is existing. So you have to keep on pushing, never give up. I said 5 times, no, we're not going to the market yet because it's not good enough. So then all the investors are like, what? But you promised that we go to the market. Say, yeah, no, but it's not good enough. We really need this good product, and we especially need this good sound. So what we now have, we really achieved this. Yeah, we also were a little bit lucky that everything fell into place, but we really have a crazy good sounding hearable now. So all the reactions, as you said before, people really think we pay people, but we don't even have the money. We're a startup still, eh? So we just go on the streets and ask people to take their AirPods or other device out and ask, maybe you want to listen to this, and see their genuine reaction. Yeah, and it's crazy. Even like hearable reviewers or very experienced tech reviewers, from TechCrunch to TechRadar, name them. Everybody listened to it, and then, yeah, for me to see the reactions on the sound is the most beautiful. I can do this all day, like 365 days a year, because it always gives you goosebumps. And we also say you really listen to your favorite song for the first time. Put on a song you've listened to like 100 or 1,000 times, and then listen to it with a new device. You're going to hear new things.
Oh, it's a completely different experience. It's honestly, it's complete. And listen, I haven't tried Zohn-1 yet. I'm waiting for mine, which are coming soon, and we're going to do another conversation after we've had a chance to do that, and we're going to film and record our genuine reaction with it, because I want to experience. I've experienced it with in-ear monitors, but not. I'm really looking forward to this form factor. I'm really looking forward to everything that you have in this package. And we talk about the price of the wired. I mean, the price of Zohn-1, I mean, depending on, of course, especially on the Kickstarter now, are roughly about the same as the high quality wired ones. But you're getting that experience, that, being able to just enjoy the sound wherever you go. And you've put together some great people behind it. There's Breggz, which has been known in the headphone space for a very long time. There's Mimi Hearing. So you're leaning on the expertise of people who have established, history to bring it to this product, which I think is an incredible thing to applaud.
Yeah, sometimes you shouldn't invent everything yourself, because there are very experienced, very well-known partners in the world, like potential partners, and out there are partners. And yeah, the Mimi is also very good working in our device, especially in our device, because the quality is more high standard. And one thing that I would love to make clear too is that we place the speakers really in the hearing canal. So normally you have all the parts in like a kind of pebble. Yeah, so they put everything together because it's universal, and then you can sell more, produce more, scale up more easy. So the distance, then they have the speakers is built in the pebble, and they are farther away from your eardrum. So nobody can get closer to the eardrum as we are doing at the moment. So even if you have very $5,000 over headphones, still the speaker is here.
It's far away from your canal.
It's not inside. And once you're going to seal this off, so no frequency level at all is going away, is leaking. And we make like an audiogram. So we've got this head, artificial head with the ear, and we test every piece when it's ready in it, and to see if all frequency levels are equally there. And we're going to add this later in when people buy this, they see their own audiogram of the device, and so. With a lot of wired ones, we also test a lot of expensive wired ones. You see some drops in some frequency levels, and yeah, that's a pity, because then, you have some leakage, and you don't want that. You really want the full mix. And then later on, we have also an equalizer, a 5-way equalizer, and then you can adjust. Everybody's got a different taste.
Exactly.
So normally there's a mix coming out of the studio, and maybe you want a little bit more bass, a little bit more top end, and you can you can do it yourself.
You know, the technology and the innovation here goes beyond the headphone itself, right? Because the process you made of being able to scan your ear with an app, which isn't available yet, but it will be, is amazing. Because until today, even like the ones I'm wearing now, I had to go to an audiologist. I had to sit there, take an hour or longer out of my day, get the mold done, ship it in, wait for them to scan it, and then this is a very long process. And I know there's still a process here in terms of getting them, custom made for me. But the fact that you're taking that experience and you're making it smart from the beginning, that's a feat of engineering as well, to be able to replicate that in someone's ear, right?
Yeah, that was like the big eureka moment for us, that we were thinking, if you really all the time need somebody who puts paste in your ear and it always have to be like this in this way. We thought, if we have a scan and if we can do that, but it was a very long process, because once you have a scan, you have to make a printable file out of this scan. It's not that you just can print this. So you have to have a platform. Then you have to have very good AI running on the platform. So that's like a different system again. And it calculates, and it makes like a printable scan out of it. Then you have to have the right printer, the right people to do it. So it's like we call it our little street, and that took a lot of time. So we're now almost there. I think it's 90% good enough for me. So everybody says, "Come on, it's good enough." Nobody's complaining about the fit. And all the experiences we recorded aren't with custom-made in-ears, because how can it be? People hear it for the first time. So that's a generic one, little shrunken down, like an average measure of a male or a female. And everybody is very happy with that sound. So
just imagine what it's going to be like when it's custom, right?
Yeah, then it's just a little bit deeper, and it stays in place a little bit better. So it improves, but also with the generic one, it's a new dimension of sound. Yeah. So we're now on the scan part. That's the only thing. The rest of the street is ready, and on the scan part, we have I think a few weeks to go, and then we're there.
Tell me about some of your highlights over this journey. I know that, for example, you created a pair for Stevie Wonder, and we actually met Stevie Wonder a couple of weeks ago at Zohn in Anaheim. What was that experience like, having him experience Zohn-1 for the first time?
It's so crazy because I'm an artist. I write songs on the piano. I write the music. I write the lyrics. So he's one of my biggest examples. Yeah. You have Billy Joel and Stevie Wonder. But I think, because we were always wondering why he just showed up at a booth, and I think he listened to your podcast. I think he did, because else how would he know? Because 2 days after I did the interview, he came to our booth. I was selling some or telling the story to Dyson people, and suddenly somebody whispered in my ear, "Stevie Wonder is standing in front of you." So I was turning, and he was really like so
right
close.
There. Yeah.
And the only thing I could say was, "Stevie, it's an honor to meet you. Please want to try them out." And then all cameras came, all people from the Dutch. We were at the Dutch pavilion, but Italy was, so that's all different, different countries over there involved, and they all came. So I thought, this might as well be a good experience for us. But if he says at the end, "I don't like it," we're done. So I just put them in the ears, and he listened, and he really liked it. So he stayed for 45 minutes. We scanned his ears, but the ear scan wasn't ready enough for that. So we and that was a prototype. So that was 2024, 2 days after we spoke. And 25 we went back. So last January, and we had the product, so the almost ready product. So we brought his custom-made pieces. I was still not 100% happy, so I will send them new ones, But it was, he said, it's amazing sound. Really, this bass, it's such a rich bass. So that was one I already told the guys and the girls. We have everybody involved in the country in the business. But I told them, if it stops here, this is enough for me. I met Stevie.
Well,
it was great.
It's definitely not stopping there. Obviously,
no.
The Kickstarter is live, as I mentioned at the beginning. For people who are listening and watching, it's Breggz, BREGGZ.com. You can get to the Kickstarter from there. Plenty of time for you guys to get involved. If people are pledging to the Kickstarter today, when are their customs going to be in their hands?
Yeah, if you
hopefully,
hopefully, we use the Kickstarter platform a little bit from a selling point aspect, so we don't have to develop the whole product again. So exactly. It's not about if it's coming; it's coming. It's about when. So we say Q4, so November, December of this year.
Amazing.
And that also because we sold a lot of pieces in Holland already before, so we first have to make them, but for sure this year they have the device.
Amazing. I mean, you mentioned something important there, which is a lot of Kickstarters, you're funding an idea before it exists. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is not that kind of situation. This is a product that's virtually ready to go. So you're buying the product. You're just showing that you want that product now and your excitement about it. So I encourage people to head on over to the Kickstarter and do check it out. I'm very excited to talk to you again soon because I know that the generics are on the way. So we'll be able to really experience that from the first hand and have you back on the show and really talk about our experiences as well.
Yeah, I would love that because it was a pity that you couldn't hear it before, but I think in a week you have them because I would love to see your reaction and also from Steven, of course.
Love it. Xander, thank you again so much for joining us. We're going to talk to you again real soon. So everybody, Breggz.com, check out the Kickstarter now. Of course, be part of one of the first people in the world to experience the Zohn-1.
True. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah, I am one of those people. I very rarely ever got a chance to say that, let me tell you.
I noticed my name wasn't in there at the end, but
no, because
fine.
You're absolutely awful when it comes to audio. You don't care about audio.
Well, I will say this, right? After hearing what he had to say there, I'm looking at this like most people look at sports cars. Looking how you and Mark are so excited by these, and I totally understand why. I really do. I want to see your reaction to it.
Yeah.
I want to know what you get for this kind of money, this luxury premium product, because, it's out of the realms for most people.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key for me is like to see what the difference is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest about it. I'll tell you if I think it's great, I will. And if I think if it matches my AirPods Pro, which is what I'm putting it up against, because that's the highest level I go. I mean, I suppose the highest I've ever gone is with the AirPods Max. But again,
that's right.
As Xander was saying there, one thing that they're kind of doing, their USP is to get the speaker as close to the eardrum as possible. So that's quite interesting because I must admit, even when I wear those earbuds, like, for example, the AirPods Pros, I don't think about that very often. I never feel a separation between the audio and me in that way. So that may be something that becomes apparent. I'm really keen to test that out. But yeah, we're going to test them. I'll record that reaction live. I have not put them in my ears yet. I am holding back. The company actually mailed me just today to check I got them okay. And I said, I have, but I'm not putting them in my ears yet because I want to do it live on camera. So we'll see what...
You've got to mold them to your ears, Stephen Scott. And
well, not these ones. So these are generic. The ones I've got are generic. I've
ones.
not got the custom model ones. But
well, that's lucky with your funny sized ears.
Well, I've got weird ears. That's right. Because it's the hole, you see, the holy bit with the
hole.
audio where the sound goes in.
One would be the size of a tennis ball, the other one of a peanut going off your ears. Okay.
But just like your brain.
Look forward to it.
Right. So shall we? Shall we go to a couple of emails before we go?
Yes, let's.
Let's hear from Everin on the subject of TikTok accessibility.
Hi, Double Tappers. I'm writing from Australia, so the TikTok ban doesn't affect me here, but I wanted to share some thoughts regarding accessibility. As you know, accessibility varies. What works for one person may not necessarily work for another. For me, TikTok is somewhat accessible for tasks like scrolling through videos and occasionally sharing content with my brother. While I'd classify the app as usable, there are areas where it could be improved. For instance, the inbox can be fiddly to navigate. The comments section is usable but requires finding the pause button first in order to hear comments with VoiceOver on iOS. Clearly, there's room for improvement, though I'm not holding my breath for major changes anytime soon. The main reason I downloaded TikTok was because my brothers kept sharing videos with me, and having the app installed proved easier than using the website. That said, I don't spend hours on the platform. 30 minutes is probably my max. Given how visual TikTok is, it's not practical for someone who is totally blind like myself to engage with it for extended periods. If there were a dedicated version of TikTok for blind users, or if the main app were more screen reader friendly, my experience might be different. This brings me to my interest in innovations such as the Cosmos operating system from Humane. A voice-activated system where you simply tell an AI what you want and it executes the task would be a game changer. However, I fear the world is still too visually oriented for a fully voice-driven interface to truly succeed. That said, I see immense potential for such technology, whether in cars, during cooking, or when your hands are full. I do appreciate what Humane is trying to achieve, though I believe their product, the AI Pin, might have fared better had they considered more feedback from their employees during development. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me for now. Thanks for taking the time to read my thoughts. Best regards, Everin.
Thank you for that, Everin. Good to hear from you. Yeah, you know what? The Humane AI Pin, forget it. Just forget it. Dead in the water. I even get emails now about the Rabbit R1. Can you believe that? I still get emails about that saying, oh yeah, there's a new feature and hey, you should check this out. I'll just forget it. I can't be bothered anymore. These things are dead. Although it is interesting. I did hear that OpenAI are going after Johnny Ive because apparently he's developing some kind of hardware and they're saying that OpenAI may want to buy into this. Johnny Ive, of course, is the guy behind the design of like the Apple iMac, the original, and lots of cool designs as well that we'll know about in the past. But yeah, would it be interesting to hear about a new product like that? I mean, I guess that would be cool. I guess the question is, though, will accessibility be part of it? Because as you and I well know, former Apple employees came in to build Humane, and we all thought, well, that'll have accessibility in it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So no guarantees at all, right? They often might just leave accessibility at the door on the way out of the Apple building.
It didn't even matter at the end anyway. Never mind accessibility. It just didn't work anyway.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah, we've talked about Humane before, and okay. I put that with the Rabbit R1 as well. But going back to everyone's point about a voice-driven OS, like the operating system for the Humane Pin. I don't think the technology is anywhere near yet, but as we've spoken about, this week about voice controlled and AI, the voice conversation that we have with AI, it's very impressive, very natural. That would be a great way to use technology. But operating system, at the minute, I just can't conceive how that would work, from a productivity point of view. But who knows what could happen with it? It's very true. I'm still slightly, I'm surprised that TikTok is, when it comes to accessibility, still hard to use, to be honest. I just wish they would sort that out.
I mean, I'm not using it for much more than just consuming whatever they're throwing out, right? And I don't generally hang around on clips. I mean, I can, I guess, skip them if I want. I don't usually. But I found certainly navigating around to find like and comment fairly accessible. It seems to work. I don't know what isn't accessible about it so much as it's maybe just not a great creator platform. Certainly the content is very inaccessible in itself. If you have just music playing and a video in the background with text, that's a big issue. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I'll be honest, that's why I tend to stick to Facebook Reels. I mean, I hate all of it, but I end up sticking to it for some weird reason. I still put it on. I can't look away. It's like a train crash. I just cannot look away.
Yes, I haven't used TikTok in the longest time, but even when I did try it, I just tried it once, and this isn't for me. From what I hear, lots of people I've spoken to say I got to turn VoiceOver off to swipe through to the next video, but then I got to turn it back on to use the other features, like you mentioned, like and comment. So honestly, I don't use it myself.
Depends how much you engage, right? Everyone seems to be excited about Jacket FM. I see some emails coming through about it and some comments online. I think that might be interesting. Have you? Yeah, well, so have I. I think I sent a message. I think I did.
It's a little bit confusing, but it's a new app. I've got to say the developer has been fantastic in improving, taking feedback when it comes to accessibility. He's been great. I've seen him over there on Apple Viz threads. So
that's good.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, it makes me think of Clubhouse and prior to that, I guess VoRail or VoRail. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Hey, we
talk
love
about
these.
A train crash.
Yes, exactly.
Listen, we're out of time. That's it for us today. But thank you so much as always for your time, for your emails. Also, thanks to the guys from Breggz as well for sending over the headphones. I cannot wait to have a play. We'll talk more about that soon. But for now, that is it from us. Thank you as always, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.